Hey, welcome to The Explainer. We break down big ideas here. And today, we're tackling something we all do, probably every single day, but we almost never stop to think about what it really is. We're talking about ritual.
You see stuff like this all the time, right? These really formal, repeated actions that are just packed with meaning.
But here's the question. Is it just a procedure, or is it something more? What if these actions are actually a fundamental tool we use to organize our entire world? Yep. Okay, let's dive in.
So what is a ritual, really? At its core, it's this formal, symbolic, repeated pattern of behavior. And here's the key thing. It's set apart from your normal, everyday, practical stuff. Its power isn't about getting a direct result, like flipping a switch to turn on a light. Now, the power comes from the rigid, predictable form of the action itself.
And these things are absolutely everywhere. They're not just for religion. They're woven right into the fabric of our social lives, our legal system, even our most personal habits. Think about it, from these huge military parades all the way down to that simple, almost sacred way you might make your coffee every single morning.
All right, so how do we even start to unpack this powerful force? Well, a good place to start is with the key thinkers who really mapped out the territory for us.
What's so cool is that you had people from totally different fields, sociology, anthropology, religious studies, all wrestling with the same fundamental human behavior. Each one came at it from a slightly different angle, giving us a piece of the puzzle. And together, they give us this really rich, multi-dimensional view of what ritual is actually doing.
Okay, so let's jump into that first dimension, the social one. We're going to look at how rituals build and shape our world, especially when we're going through big life changes. So, an anthropologist named Arnold van Gennep noticed something really interesting. He saw that all these rituals that mark big life events, graduations, weddings, coming-of-age ceremonies, they all seem to follow this universal three-step pattern. First, you're separated from your old life, then you're in this weird in-between state, and finally you're brought back into society with a brand new identity.
But it's that middle stage, that in-between space, that another anthropologist, Victor Turner, got really obsessed with. He called it liminality. And this is where things get wild. It's a place where all the normal rules, all the social hierarchies, they just temporarily dissolve. It's the state of pure, unstructured potential.
And this is where you see the two faces of liminality. On one hand, it can create this incredible thing called communitas, this powerful, totally equal sense of community where everyone is bonded together. But on the other hand, that exact same unstructured power can be used for much darker things, to break people down, to reshape them, and to establish control. Think about something like really harsh military training.
Okay, let's switch gears to a sociologist, Émile Durkheim. For him, the key thing that happens when a group performs a ritual together is that they generate this powerful emotional energy. He had a great name for it, collective effervescence. You know this feeling. It's that high you get at a huge concert or a crazy sports match. It's this shared energy that makes you feel like you're part of something way bigger than yourself. And that feeling, it reinforces what the group believes and creates this bond that can feel stronger than pretty much anything else. But wait a second. Is it all just about unity and good vibes? Well, a scholar named Catherine Bell came along and challenged that cozy idea. She argued that, hey, ritual isn't just some nice side effect of social life. No, it's an active political tool. A king's coronation, for example, isn't just reflecting his power. It's a strategic performance designed to create, justify, and lock that power in place right in front of everyone. Okay, so rituals organize people. But what if they do more? Let's explore how rituals don't just organize society, but how they shape the very nature of reality itself. A historian of religion, Mircea Eliade, came up with this really powerful idea. He said that the main job of religious ritual is to draw a line in the sand, to separate two totally different ways of being. On one side, you have the sacred, the holy, the powerful, what feels ultimately real. And on the other, you have the profane, which is just our normal, everyday world. And if you want a perfect picture of this, just look at a Shinto torii gate. It's a physical threshold. The act of walking through it is a ritual. It literally moves you physically and spiritually, from the profane world of the street into the sacred space of the shrine. It's basically a doorway between worlds.
But here's the thing. That sharp dividing line isn't universal. In a lot of traditions, say in Christianity, the line is pretty clear. A church is sacred, the street outside is not. But then you look at a tradition like Islam, and there's a much bigger emphasis on integrating the sacred into daily life. There's a famous saying that the earth is a mosque, and after Friday prayers, people are encouraged to go right back to their work. It's all about blending the sacred and the profane, not keeping them totally separate.
Okay, so rituals shape our societies and even our sense of reality. But what about us, as individuals? What do they do for our minds, especially when we're stressed out?
Think about it. When life gets chaotic and you feel like you have no control, maybe you're in a crisis or it's right before a huge game, the solid, predictable, unchangeable steps of a ritual can be an incredibly powerful psychological anchor. It gives you a little piece of control in a world that feels totally out of control.
And this leads to a really cool paradox. It's the very rigidity of the ritual that actually makes our minds more flexible. How does that work? Well, because you don't have to think about what to do next, the steps are all laid out for you, it lowers your cognitive load. That frees up a ton of mental energy, which you can then use to better adapt to whatever stress you're actually facing.
Now, it's pretty clear that in some parts of the world, traditional religion is less central than it used to be. But our deep, fundamental need for ritual, that hasn't gone anywhere. It's just changed its clothes, you could say. It's found new homes.
So where do we find that collective effervescence today? Well, we find it in these powerful secular spaces. Think about the roar of a stadium with everyone chanting in unison, or the shared energy of a massive concert, or even the insane, frenzied shared experience of a Black Friday shopping spree. These have all become our new, powerful modern rituals. So, to bring it all together, here's the crucial takeaway. A single ritual isn't just doing one thing. It's operating on all these levels at the exact same time. It structures our reality, it binds us into groups, it organizes power, and it calms our individual minds. It's like a fundamental multi-tool for being human.
And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. In our age of digital chaos, with all these virtual communities and brand new ways of connecting, what are the new rituals we're inventing right now? And maybe more importantly, what kind of world are those new rituals building for us?